Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Today is August the 1st. And we didn't have a meeting last month because it fell. Our meeting date fell on the 4th of July, and I was kind of happy not to be here that night. But I was busy anyway. So thank you very much again for coming, and we'll get started. Will everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Yes, God bless America. Okay, we have guests tonight. No guests? How about new members? I think we do have some new members tonight. Okay, I would like Gary's going to pass the mic around. We'd like to hear a little bit about you.
I think I saw it. Kind of speak right there.
Okay. My name is Irene Kolinsky, and I've been here in Florida for about 20 years. I came from Chicago. And I was very happy to find out about this nice group here. I've been looking for something ever since the cultural center has closed. And so I'm here to learn everything I can.
Good. Well, we're here to help you.
Thank you.
Okay. Over here on the right.
Different directions. Anybody over here?
Yes, over to your right. New members.
Yes, yeah, my name's Leonard Dolby Pasco. I'm from Port Charlotte. I've been here since 1982, so I've been here a long time. I've been retired for quite a while, but I'm a writer, a poet mostly, and I had a radio show on WKW in Northport, South Florida, called Writers on the Air, and I would do my own work. I did that for about 2 years, and I still, do some poetry right now, and then have a number of publications and that. Just kind of looking for some place because my computer skills are about this size. Anything that I pick up will really help me. Okay, thank you.
That's what we're here for. I think there was one other one. Was there another? Okay, over here in the front.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Lowe. I've been here since 16, and I just really have to learn more about my computer. So,
You've come to the right place.
and plus phones, do you phones too?
Yes, we do. We will help with phones. Gloria just asked me something about her watch tonight, how to turn something off. So after the meeting, we're going to talk about how to do that, which will probably be an app on our phone that is connected to that. So yes, we do phones, tablets. We don't repair phones or tablets, but we will help you with the software. We also will help you if you have issues with like your home theater, wanting to know how to set that up. We now have a smart TV in our office, so we can use that as a tool to show you how to proceed through the process.
Wow, that's great.
Now, we're not going to put any paid subscriptions on there, but we will show you how to get to some of the free offerings that are available on just about every smart TV I've seen. Okay.
So I can leave Comcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Very good. Okay, anyone else new?
Just a reminder that Mark,
As long as we're talking about TVs, Mark is having a class
cutting the cord.
cutting the cord, getting rid of Comcast or anyone else, or any TV subscriptions you have, how to get rid of it. Please look at our calendar for the exact date.
Yeah, check the events calendar, best place to look at it, and I would go ahead and sign up for the course through our website, And that lets me know how many people are gonna be there and kind of lets me know who's gonna be there.
It's gonna be on August 14th, and we ask you to go to the website and sign up for it ahead of time. Because we do have limited around the room in our office. So we're gonna be limiting it to 8, so first come, first served. Make sure you sign up right away.
We also have a number of other classes, again, that are free, with your membership. I teach a class on, the second Tuesday of every month. This is the first Tuesday, so next Tuesday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon at our office. It's both an in-office and a Zoom class, so if you're not able to come into the office, you can participate through Zoom. And it is mostly an open forum of question and answer, similar to what we did this evening. However, I do have an opportunity there to do some demonstrations. We don't have as complex computing environment there as we do here, so we have some technical issues we have to deal with here with the video and sound system that we don't have to do so much in the office, so it's easier to be able to control. So but again, that's on the second Tuesday. I don't have my sign up online, but I should add that to the calendar as opposed to just putting it on the calendar. So I will try to do that. Okay, anyone else? Okay, let's go ahead then. I'm going to recognize Fran Robitelli again this month for being so generous. He has attained a grant from Bank of America for Charlotte County Computer Group for $500. This is through his previous employer. They are reaching out to the community and they have asked him who he would like to see get donated funds, and it's available for 501c3 organizations, which we are. And he is, this is the second year that he has offered us this grant, so I want to say thank you very much, Fran. And I know he's not here tonight because he's still north, but is he on Zoom? Okay, Fran, thank you.
He's waiting.
Wave, okay, I'm waving back. Okay, these are totally wrong statistics. These are 2 months ago, so I'm just gonna bypass them. Benefits of membership, I think everyone recognizes these benefits. It's $35 a year for a single membership or $45 for 2 people in the same household. For that, you get free technical support in the office, and you can have free repairs for your computer, both leave your computer overnight. We can update your malware and do free virus scans and so forth. We also have our drawings this evening, and for those who are members, if you wish to purchase a refurbished computer, which would be a computer that was donated by another member or maybe a business in the community, and we have refurbished it, upgraded it, added new memory, added additional hard storage support, whatever, and then we have turned those around and make those available both to the some needy children through a situation where they have to apply through their guidance counselor or whatever, or through the Homeless Coalition, or through the Veterans Organization. So we do provide computers free to those organizations for needy people, but for our members, you can get a refurbished computer for $50 for a desktop, including a keyboard, mouse, and monitor, and $75 for a laptop. So I think that's a real bargain, especially if you don't need maybe the latest and greatest, but you sure need to upgrade what you're doing now. We have been promoting things through Nextdoor. We've had a couple of people that have reached out to the community and told people about us, and that has brought in some new membership, and I want to say thank you for that. We always need volunteers, and if you are donating a laptop, please remember that you need to bring the adapter. We can't do anything without that adapter. We do, like I said, we will erase any data that was on the computer prior to turning it around to someone else. But we'll try to upgrade the memory and the storage at the same time. Anyone who has any special knowledge or expertise that they would like to share with the rest of us, remember, we are members who help members. So anyone who can offer their assistance in developing a class or giving a presentation, we'd love to hear from you. I told you a little while ago, we do have a new smart TV in the office, and this gives us some more opportunities for other things that we can teach and we can talk about. Our favorite of the month is Flux, and that is something I usually do use on my computer. And someone said that last month, why is your computer so dim? Well, it's because I don't like this thing glaring at me all the time. If you notice, this is a very bright screen, but it's only set on 20%. My screen is so bright, I can't use it without using this product. So go ahead.
Yes, Flux is a program that'll reduce it. How many times at night are you on the computer and it's 11 o'clock at night and your eyes are like this? Yeah, I'm ready to go to sleep. It doesn't work. This will help you put you to sleep and get a better rest.
It cuts the blue light so that it's not damaging your.
Doesn't glare at you.
Right, and like I said, my screen always blares at me unless I use Flux, so I use this constantly. And someone in here did comment, why is your screen, we can't see your screen, it's so dim. Oh, well, I had to turn it off last month so that people could actually see it. Okay. You have some more
I have one little reminder. One of the members came up to me this evening over here and said that I have an old computer in the closet that's not doing anybody any good. Is it okay if I bring it in? I said, yeah, you can.
What? You said it that way? No. Yes.
Everybody's got a neighbor that has old computer that's in the closet, just collecting dust. We would like it if you completely empty it with the programs and everything else. And especially if you have an Apple machine, if you have an Apple iPad or anything, we cannot do anything with it until they release it and take all the data off. If you need help with that, we'd be more than willing to help.
No, you need to make sure
We have
that
to close it out, close out the account.
Just close out, you don't have to delete everything.
Yeah, you have to close out the account.
hand that to Rose, because I want to talk about something else. When you donate an Apple product, they have locked us out. We cannot do anything if we don't have the credentials to get into that machine. So even though it sounds like a great security breach, we would like you to bring that in with your ID that is attached to that device and the password, and you can sit with us while we take that off and move it to a new ID. But unless we can do that, we can't do anything else, because we try to
factory reset.
Yeah, we tried a factory reset, we bring it in for someone else, and they said, well, you know, I'll let you factory reset and make it look like new, but if you can't give me the user ID and password of the last owner of this, then I won't let you do it. And I'm gonna turn over to Rose now.
There are two major areas to look at. When you go to the settings and click on your name at the top, then go to the column on the right and go all the way down to the bottom of the page. That is where you can sign off. That's step number one. The second one is on a laptop or a desktop. You go into the computer, into apple.com, to your account, sign into your account, click devices. It will show you what devices are registered with your name. Look at the devices if you're getting rid of a phone, a tablet, MacBook, anything connected to Apple that you're giving away. Go to that particular device and it will, every time they update, they change the terminology, but it will be similar to remove this from your devices or delete. If you do those two things, does wonders and speeds up our process to factory reset it, to hand it on to someone else. When we factory reset, all of your apps or anything else connected to your name, if you've done those two things, we will be able to hand it over to someone as if it is a brand new product for them. None of your information will be there. Apple works that all of the apps and anything you do with them is not on the tablet itself. It is, everything is stored in the cloud. That's why you have to disconnect from two places.
Just a reminder that that's for all Apple products. With your Microsoft and your Androids, we are able to reset it. If you have a little black book in your computer that you don't know what, who knows about it, we get rid of it for you.
Actually, there is one other product that I've had an issue with. The Microsoft Surface product has a similar problem that Apple does. So that one is one that we may have a little more work to do to be able to convert it and pass it on to someone else. So most products we don't have a problem with, but those we do.
George, hand me the name.
Even though at all of our classes and at the member meetings, we highlight, don't share your password, don't share your login. If you are getting rid of any of these pieces of equipment for us to factory reset, I hope that you trust us, that you put it on there just as a safety precaution. For any of our members, we have your name, your phone number, we can call you. However, in the past, we've gotten a number of pieces of equipment that someone brought in from their neighbor or a family member that died and they don't want it, they want to give it away because none of the current family want to keep it. Whatever you can do to supply that information for us to reset it, we then burn the information and nobody else will get that.
Thank you. Okay, do you have anything else?
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. Okay, back to the regular scheduled program, and tonight we're going to talk about the tools to write your life story. We talked about this a little bit in the earlier session, but this is an excellent presentation I saw a few weeks ago through an organization called APCUG, or more specifically, Tech for Senior. Tech for Senior has a broadcast or a Zoom session that they do every Monday at noon our time. And it's only for an hour, but they have 5 or 6 hosts of that program, and each one contributes something. This happens to be a program done by the wife of one of the hosts, one of the regular hosts of the meeting. And I thought she did an excellent job, and it really, I've had so many people in our organization asking about, well, how do I do this? So I thought this would be something that people would enjoy. She also offers at the end to help people for free to get started with this. So also, I mentioned APCUG. That is an organization that is nationwide, and I think there are actually some international members also. Well, I know at least Canada, but there are some other countries outside of the US that participate. Our organization, CCCGC, Charter County Computer Group, is a member of APCUG, and so any of our members have free access to any of their tools. So again, one of the other things that our membership does provide. Okay, and I'm going to find the power button here. Okay, and I want to make sure that I get this plenty loud enough, and if it's too loud, we're going to turn it down. Too loud?
Hi, I'm Carol Baxter, and I am here to share with you some tools to write your life story or loved ones. Since 2008, I have been helping people write their life stories and then create it as a book that they can share with their loved ones. Are you interested? Let's begin. What's involved in writing a life story or a memoir for someone else? You need a desire to do it. Only you can tell your story exactly as you wish. As George Carlin said, you've got one. You need a vision. Who is your audience and what do you want to say to them? You need the time to do it. Set aside a consistent schedule to write, or trust me, it just doesn't happen. You need a deadline, perhaps. That's my ultimate inspiration. If it works for you, then set one. Tools. Well, I'm going to tell you about the many tools that I use, but if you want to make it easier on yourself, know that you can get away with Microsoft Word and from a company called Blurb, a software tool called BookWrite. Software and tools I use to capture a story. Handheld recorder, $15, $20 on Amazon. When you're interviewing by phone, there really is no way to record that conversation unless you put your phone on speaker and have a handheld recorder turned on. I like Zoom an awful lot. I think you have eye contact with Zoom. It builds trust. You can record to the cloud or a computer. And for me, it makes it easier if I'm coaching a student. I always have a notebook and pen to kind of make some highlights, jot down a quote that I want to make sure gets in the book. And then if I'm working from a numbered questions, I can just write the number of the question and the answer to it. A phone app. When I'm sitting recording somebody face to face, it just saves it to my SD cards and makes it really easy to upload. I'm the luckiest woman alive. I have in-house tech support named Gray Baxter, and recently he informed me of Dictate and Transcribe. These are my two favorite new features. So we're going to talk about Transcribe first. Get it to by clicking below the Dictate arrow. Now you can import those recordings of yourself or your loved one, and their words are rendered into a Word document. This is machine transcription. It takes about 15 minutes for the system to transcribe a 90-minute interview. You have a choice of whether or not to use timestamps. I like timestamps when it's a long recording and I might have to go back and double check what somebody said. You will still have plenty of editing to do because guess what? People just don't speak the way they want to be read in a book. So my suggestion is that you have a second Word document that you use to create the story, cutting and pasting over from that transcribed one. I have dual screens that make this really easy and I think it would be a little tougher on one screen, but you can do it. The alternates to Microsoft Word are Rev.com and Scribby.com. They both do machine transcription for 10 to about 25 cents a word, significantly more, 10 times more for human transcription. Transcribe is right under Dictate. It wants to upload an audio. This is about 20 minutes. It'll take about 3 minutes for it to render. As you can see, Transcribe does a pretty good job with the speakers and the timestamps. Rev and Scribby that you pay for do a slightly better job, but again, you pay for them. This is free. When you go to add it to the document, you have lots of choices, just text with speakers, with timestamps, or with speakers and timestamps. So I'm just going to kind of scroll up from the bottom. This is speakers and timestamps. This is just timestamps. This is just speakers, which I actually sort of like a little bit better because this is a short one and it moves the speaker 2 into a more condensed version. And this is just text. Anyway. So you have lots of choices. When you go to save it, you just go up to file and save it where and how you want it saved. Microsoft Word's dictate feature is a beautiful thing, particularly if you have, like I do, my mother's handwritten life story. It's much faster for me to read that out and have Word render it than to sit and look at her handwriting and type it out. There is a learning curve to use the commands, period, comma, full stop, question mark, things like that. But it works pretty good. I've included a link for them. And I confess I'm not good at this yet, but here's an example. This is Microsoft Dictate. It shows right here in the ribbon. You just click on it to dictate. My papa ate stinky cheeses that I could barely pronounce, let alone spell, comma. Limburger, comma, Camembert, comma, and Blue, period. I don't know where he'd have bought specialty cheeses in Mesa, comma, Arizona, comma, nor how our food budget would have stretched to include such delicacies in the early 1970s, comma, but I think he must have discovered a love for cheese in Europe during his World War II service, period. So you can see as it was typing Europe in World War II was not capitalized, but it went back in and did that. There's lots of commands you can use to change paragraphs and what have you. I invite you to play with it. Ernest Hemingway famously said, write drunk, edit sober. I definitely agree with the second part of that. Editing will set your book up for success. It only improves your story. It makes you feel good about sharing your story. Your readers will appreciate not stumbling over an extra word, missing letter, or bad punctuation. And editing your story increases your chance that the reader will finish it. And you always want your reader to finish your book, right? Microsoft Word Style Editor is a wonderful thing. There are 3 different modes to it. Casual and professional are the 2 that I generally take a look at when I'm working with fiction or memoir writing. I use spelling, grammar, clarity, conciseness, punctuation, conventions, and vocabulary. The scores you see here are for about a 38,000 word document that has not been edited yet. In order to pull this up in Microsoft Word, it's under the Edit tab. And then each time you click on one of these, whether casual writing, you click the down arrow, it'll give you suggestions within the document that you can choose to ignore or change as you wish. Inclusiveness is probably the only thing that I'm not super fond of as far as an editing tool. For instance, my client said I was gangly and a tomboy, much to my mother's dismay. You as the writer are the person who decides what words to use, and it is a memoir, so in my humble opinion, you might want to capture how the person speaks and the time they lived it. Once you've written and given your story the once over, you might be wondering what's next. Well, I can recommend a couple of things. You can either DIY edit it yourself, because all those little AI edits in Word are only going to take you so far. If you're going to do that, I recommend you print out your story, you edit it again, and you're going to catch things on a printed page that you will never ever catch on a computer screen. You might even want to read it in reverse, just because that slows you down reading it. And by reading it in reverse, I don't mean the last sentence to the first sentence. I'm talking about kind of the last chapter to the first chapter. Reading it aloud will help you catch other things that you may want to make corrections on. Repeat these as necessary until you're satisfied. Your other option is, of course, to send your manuscript to a professional editor. That might be just for, you want it done for grammatical errors checking, or you might want to copy edited for continuity and missing. If you're going to write fiction, I highly recommend you get an edition of the Chicago Manual of Style. I'm currently using the online version, but I do have the version 17 in book form. Sometimes that's faster to refer to than looking it up online. I also use a software called Perfected because it integrates with Chicago Manual of Style. It handles abbreviations and makes them consistent. Same for capitalization. I can create a house style if I'm writing a book and I want it just a certain way. It works for hyphens and dashes. It's consistent with the prefixers, numbers, factions, directions, things like that. It catches spelling errors that are from and when it should be form, and I really like that because I've become a bit of a dyslexic typist. These are my two favorite go-to programs when I'm doing a deep edit. So you want to include photos in your memoir. Great. I am a big believer that there should be photos in it. Look through your photos for some candid ones that aren't so staged, because they will often tell your own stories. When you're pulling them from sticky or those vintage albums, carefully lift them, because if they're glued on it and the glue is still sticking, it may result in cracks or tears. I recommend using a small Post-it note to mark the pages with the photos you want and then just scan them directly from the album. You can use digital photographs that are on your phone or computer. Keep in mind that you're printing with these. So those photos need to be about 450 kilobytes and preferably at least a megabyte. You can use your cell phone, but make sure when you're taking those photos with your cell phone of your albums that you have it set to the highest resolution, because you're going to be printing these. And 77 kilobytes for a printed photo is about the size of your phone when you go to print it. I use one of two tools for designing and building the book. I use Adobe InDesign, or I have something called Bookright, which is from a company called Blur. I've been printing with Blur since 2008. I find their customer service to be right on. I think their prices are great. And originally when I was using them, they handled text and photos the best. There are other printers out there that will print photo books for you. None of them, in my opinion, handle text as well as the Word does. When you want a digital version of your memoir too, you need to decide if that means a PDF or an ebook. Those are often used interchangeably, but they are different. A PDF is a printable document, where an ebook is going to have flowable text. So if I'm using my InDesign file for the print book, I can create a PDF from that. If I'm using Bookright, I can create a PDF, but it's going to have a watermark on it. As far as ebooks go, I use a program called Atticus because I can import my document either from Word or from the Atticus software and then manipulate it into chapters. And they have different templates, and there's about 1,200 unique combinations, so it makes it kind of fun. If you would like some cheat sheets, you can email me, Carol, at talesofalifetime.net. I have a Begin Your Memoir with Me worksheet. There's a family legacy book with emails and instructions. There's a suggested photo list for your memoir. I have bespoke cookbook starting points. And I have a who, what, when, where, why homework assignment if you are so inclined to start writing. In the 15 years I've been writing memoirs, I've discovered it's kind of like that being that individual or couple's hairstylist or bartender and close friend rolled into one for about 6 months. I would be honored to be your avid listener, creative questioner, and your integral partner as we bring your story to the page. I truly appreciate your time and attention today. If think I can help you, please don't hesitate to reach out. My website is talesofalifetime.net. Thank you.
Okay. Whoops. Think of it, turn this back on. Okay. How many of you are trying to write a memoir or any kind? Well, I know Vanessa is, okay, Rose, you are too. Vanessa is writing a fantasy novelette. Okay. And Rose, great, hand her the microphone.
I've been working on mine for a while. It's more on a memoir for myself. Went through some heavy changes in my life along the way and have always wanted to do that. And once I wrote my master's thesis, it's like, no, I need something more personal. Yeah, so yeah, I've been writing for a while and now going through my thousands of pictures in Google Photo and starting to pull things out and bring it together and integrate it with ancestry stuff.
That's great. And are you working with your kids or anyone else?
I don't have kids. It's me, myself, and I.
Well, and George too.
No, he's no.
No? Okay. Okay. I know that many years ago when my grandparents were talking about telling their life story, I really wasn't interested, but I am now. And I really would like to have some of those memories and life events that they could have shared with me. And I know there are a lot of people in this room that would like to capture the events of a lifetime to share with their kids or their grandkids or just your friends and maybe spouses. And some people do have multiples and siblings. Yeah. Yeah, that would be very nice. But I know my brother and I, we often look at each other and say, I don't know, I don't have a clue what happened, in such and such a time or what my grandparents did or whatever. I have some ideas and I know some of the things they did. And I ran across, we had a presentation last year about ancestry and several other things. And one of the things was find a grave, I think. And after the meeting, I went out and I looked up graves for my grandparents. And I learned some things about my history that I didn't know before. I learned some things about my parents and places that they had lived that I wasn't aware of. Because I had a conception that they had lived in two places that I knew of, but I had no clue that they had ever lived in this third place. And it was interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm doing it mainly for myself, but also to share with siblings and my nieces and nephews to come. I am the oldest of 6. I left home at 17. I really don't know my siblings and hope they put something together, but they don't know me either.
Mm-hmm.
And that's primarily what I'm doing. When my dad died, we found some things in his effect that my mother couldn't explain. His sisters couldn't explain. And in doing some digging, pieces are starting to come together. So
I know when, well, maybe 30, 40 years ago, my husband's father was writing a memoir. He was telling all about his history and growing up and the war and other events in his life. And we've seen part of that, but we hadn't seen the whole thing. And after he died, it was very nice to be able to go back and read some of those things. So I appreciate being able to do that. I wish I was able to do that with my parents and grandparents. Yes, Donna, could you take the mic up to Donna?
Few years ago, I was in a local writing group, and there are a couple in Charlotte County. If anyone is interested in attending this one that I was in, or would like to join, let me know and I can put you in touch with the members.
Thank you. Oh, another thing I want to share about Donna. We mentioned APCUG earlier, and Donna won a photo contest a couple of years ago for a photo that she had submitted, and you did submit another one this year, didn't you?
3 of them.
3 of them, okay, and they had certain classifications that you could enter in, and I'm assuming these were, I think you could only submit 1 per classification, right? And then you had to tell something about it as far as how it was taken and what the specs on it were, but she won a couple of years ago, so congratulations and wish you well on this year's.
Mary, the current one is now in the fights.
Oh, okay, the current contest, okay, the current contest for APCUG and the photo contest is in this month's bites. So check that out, thank you, Rose. I haven't seen it yet,
I just saw it yesterday.
okay.
I submitted it to her, but.
Okay. Okay, well, it's time to pass out some free stuff, so I got your tickets out. And is anyone missing a ticket? Because we have one on the, okay, take that up to Sandy. To Sandy, okay. So the first one we will do will be the door prize. You want to select the ticket? Now, Sandy, if this is yours, we're going to question her.
Why don't you read it?
Okay. Last 3 digits, 516. Red ticket, 516. Oh, Lewis, okay. Now, when you, at the end of the program, would you come down and we'll give you your certificate here? Here, George, you grab another one. Don't fear grabbing your own. Okay, 531. Dead ticket. Okay. Let's try another one then. George. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, 527. Okay, back here.
Need a name?
Gary, over here, we need a name. Howard Johnson, I thought that was you, Howard. But since I always confuse you with another individual, I wanted to make sure first.
Probably Conrad.
Yeah, must be.
the restaurant back in Ohio.
It is, yes,
In your mouth.
okay. Okay, here we go. One more time, would you, I don't have enough room to move around tonight, so he's gonna pull them off. 536. Okay, very good. And Jerry Allen. Okay, thank you very much. Next, we're going to do the 50/50 and how much money? $23. Got a lot more tickets in this one. Okay, we have 652. 652. There's $23 for you.
Maybe it was Avis.
It could have been one of the people that left, so we will do another one. Oh, wait a minute, check it. Yeah, I do too. 652. Yeah, ever since I had cataract surgery on my right eye, I can't see a thing. Okay, congratulations, good. Name please.
Kathy Caldwell.
Kathy Caldwell. Is somebody writing this down? I hope.
I got my,
Recorder, okay.
Yep.
Okay,
no, just so else.
Okay.
Got it.
Mark,
Nope.
you get a ticket in there, did you? Wait a minute. I'm just dragging on your, can you get? What?
We had two white ones on the-
Okay, the ticket is 034. Gloria, oh,
Right.
congratulations, Gloria. You have an all-in-one computer over here.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you.
That's good. So, anybody have more questions before we end tonight?
All the winners come down for.
Okay, yes, please. Everyone who wants something this evening, please come down so we can get your photograph and we can pass on your winnings. Thank you very much for coming and we will see you on, oh, I said on this fifth, that's not right. That should be September 5th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll change that. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.